we are ready. This is the first structure that we're going to zoom into. Which one is it? The foot. The structure that you put on the ground every step of the way. And believe it or not, a lot happens when we start walking. First of all, we need to appreciate that gravity is running through your tibia bone, your shin bone, and is going on a vertical plane, and then, plop, all these bones around here that we will describe in a moment are going to have the function to transfer from the vertical plane into the horizontal plane, allowing for us to be stable and our foot to touch as much surface possible on the ground. This is the only place in the body in which the force transfers from the vertical plane into the horizontal plane. There are 26 bones here involved in this marvelous mobile model of the foot, and we're going to have to name each and every one of them. Coming from the lower leg, we have the tibia, weight-bearing, strong bone, big bone, that creates also the knee, we will see later, and the fibula on the lateral aspect, on the outside of your lower leg. These two bones create the box of your ankle joint, the tibial malleolus and the fibular malleolus. Inside, right under these two bones, we have the talus. The talus, let's see if I can isolate it. Look at it. It's one of the weirdest, strangest, and unique bones of the human body. There is some ligaments that stabilize the talus with the neighboring bones, but this bone is the only one in the human body that has no muscle attachment. No muscle is attached to the talus to create movement with this bone. So it's kind of floating in the center of your ankle. Now the talus receives the force of gravity, your weight-bearing power, from the tibia and transfers it forward in the horizontal plane parallel to the ground onto the navicular. At the same time, the talus transfers part of the weight down to your heel bone, which is the calcaneus. This is the tibia, this is the talus, this is the calcaneus. Here we have the talocrural joint, and here we have the subtalar joint. As I was saying, the talus will transfer part of the weight already to the navicular, but some of that weight will go down and be transferred onto the heel bone, your calcaneus. The calcaneus is one of the strongest, more solid bone. No wonder millions of years ago we used this as a hammer, as a tool, as a weapon, because this is so solid, so dense, allowing us to place the heel on the ground and feel stable and strong. As the calcaneus receives the weight from the talus, it will also in its turn transfer in the horizontal plane, parallel to the floor, onto the cuboid. So we have the tibia, the fibula, the talus hiding inside your ankle, the calcaneus, and then we have navicular, the top part of the forefoot, and your cuboid. Here we have three little bad boys. We have the three cuneiforms, and then we have 5 metatarsals, and after the 5 metatarsal bones, we have the phalanges, 2 on the big toe and 3 phalanges on each and every toe. We have proximal phalanges, middle phalanges, and distal phalanges. Remember distal, far away, and proximal, close by. And then in this case, because there are 3, we have the middle one. And so as a recap, and to englobe all these bones all together, we have 7 tarsal bones: the talus, the calcaneus, the navicular, the cuboid, and 3 cuneiforms. And then we have all the metatarsals and the phalanges. Many, many different bones that create the rest of your foot. And now let's explore the 3 arches that are inside every foot. The most important one is the medial arch. The inside of the foot creates an arch. When we have too much arch, we have a problem. When we have no arch at all, we have flat feet, which also creates a lot of problems. So the medial arch is really important for us, but that's not the only arch. If I turn the foot and show you the outside of the foot, the lateral aspect of the foot also creates a little bit of an arch. And then if I would show you the sole of the foot, we would see that here we also have a bit of an arch. So we have 3 arches, one on the medial aspect, one on the lateral aspect, and one on the inferior aspect of the foot. Guess what? Every foot has 2 feet inside of it. The inside of the foot, there are many bones involved. We have the calcaneus, we have the talus, we have the navicular, we have one of the cuneiforms, and we have the metatarsal. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 bones. 5 bones, a lot of ability and possibility for adaptation, a lot of proprioceptivity. We get a lot of feeling and we send information up to the brain. This allows us to balance, this allows us to sense, this allows us to feel. The outside of the foot, check how different it is. We have that calcaneus, the talus is not involved, we have the cuboid, and we have the metatarsal. So 3 bones only instead of the 5 bones that we find on the medial aspect. 3 bones, less ability for us to adapt, and more stability, more weight bearing. So the outside of the foot, it's for stability, it's for weight bearing, it's for solid connection to the ground. The inside of the foot, it's about proprioceptivity, feeling, sensing, and balance. Those are the 2 feet that we have. 1 foot on the inside that allow us to feel and sense where we stand on, the other foot on the outside that allow us to feel stable, strong, and put our weight on the ground. We also need to talk about the muscles. The muscles that are inside the foot, they are born inside the foot and they live inside the foot. Those are the intrinsic muscles of the foot. There are some muscles that come from the lower leg and then penetrate inside the foot and stabilize, actually create the firmness and allow these arches to stay strong. Intrinsic, inside of the foot, extrinsic, coming from the outside into the foot to stabilize the foot and especially all those arches. We also need to talk about the plantar fascia on the sole of the foot, starting here, attached on the calcaneus and running deep on each and every toe. When the plantar fascia is inflamed, we have plantar fasciitis. This is one of the conditions that a lot of us have dealt with, and it takes a long time to recover. It's like having a little fire on the sole of your foot. What you need to do is rest, because walking and doing and keep irritating that fascia creates more inflammation, and the fasciitis can last a little bit longer. This fascia is super important every step of the way. When we place the heel on the ground and step, the foot will tense, this plantar fascia will tense, and then, boing, it will impulse. It will give a little rebound. Every step of the way is easier thanks to the extension, the stretch. The plantar fascia is gonna become tight and then create a little rubber band that allows for us to walk more effortlessly. We have the beauty of the foot that gives us the ability to stand on our feet, to connect with Mother Earth, to both weight bear and feel and perceive, and to stand strong and live a life full of movement, full of stability, and full of beauty.